Hello, welcome to Crosstalk. This is Enterprise Television. Kingsley Bassey is my name. Let's talk security today on Crosstalk, as we have two fine gentlemen, very patriotic Nigerians here to talk about the security challenges in Nigeria. So, as Nigeria grapples with a fresh wave of deadly violence in Plateau State as well as Benue State, President Bola Tinubu's extended stay in Paris, France, has ignited a national debate. Opposition leaders, including Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Peter Obi, formerly of the People's Democratic Party, now of the Labour Party, have called on the president to return home and take direct charge of the security crisis. With dozens dead and thousands displaced, critics say that his absence reflects poor leadership in a time of national emergency. Meanwhile, the presidency maintains that the trip is a strategic work visit seeking to evaluate midterm progress. And this raises a fundamental question, which is the focus on Crosstalk today. Is President Tinubu doing enough to address insecurity in Nigeria? I'm joined again by, two very patriotic gentlemen. They join me virtually to debate this today. Is President Tinubu doing enough to address the security challenges right now in the country? Well, political commentator Gbenga Yonuga Paul joins me virtually as mentioned. Gbenga, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Good day.
Appreciate that. Also joining me virtually today is broadcast journalist Eric Uzoma Lemibe. Eric, many thanks for joining me.
How you doing, Kingsley? Good to be here.
Yes, good to have you join the conversation this morning. Again, the question is simple. Is the president doing enough to address the security challenges in the country? Let me begin with you, Eric. How do you feel about the security challenges in the country now? Just last week, the Borno State governor he had to quickly hold a high-profile meeting to address the security challenge in Borno State. Telling the federal government that things are not going fine. Well, in the past 1 week, we've seen several killings reported in Plateau State and Benue State. Yes, the president is in Paris, France, and that these situations continue, even though the state governments are taking, leadership. They're taking the first steps to address the concerns. But where is the president in this? That's the big question. How do you feel about this? Do you think the president is doing enough?
Well, you can't say the president is not doing enough. You also would not say the president is doing enough at the same time, because this situation has, it's becoming a norm in our society that for every administration or every dispensation, there must be a major killing where lives will be sacrificed, because that's how it's becoming right now, where people will be sacrificed for an administration. Look back in history, since the era of President Jonathan down to President, even during President Olusegun Obasanjo, it was like that. Though it wasn't this bad, but at least the Boko Haram were trying to at least gain presence. Right now, they have dominance. Whether you like it or not, we can give it lip service all we want. They have dominance. There are videos of military men telling you how these men have networks, power, and all that, and there's also a video showing how these insurgents, they all get supplies from locals, you see. So coming back to the president now, is our military well equipped? Is Nigeria ready to actually combat insurgents in Nigeria? That's the first question. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can do and approve all the monies they would say they want to get weapons. The first thing is, are the military themselves really ready to take care of insurgents in Nigeria? Borno, now talk about Plateau. The killing is still ongoing. And nobody's doing anything about it. So the state, the president, the people, the military, everybody has a fair share of this slap to receive. So if you ask me about Mr. President, he's not around. He's not around to even say, and that's a strong language actually. People are dying, you're outside the country evaluating your own government. So there's no cozy place or cool place or very nice place in this country where you can sit with your men and evaluate your performance in the country. That's another thing again. Why spend taxpayers' money traveling outside, extending your stay? Why? I know there are so many answers to this, but logically, logically, sit back, think about it, ask yourself, is it something you'll be proud to talk about? You talked about opposition. We do not have an opposition party. There is no opposition. Let me flip this coin a bit. Imagine if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was to be the opposition party leader, and Atiku or Peter Obi is the president right now. Do you know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would have called for a rally, would have called for a press conference, would have made a big noise about the absence of the president? That is an opposition party. Who is in PDP? Who is talking in PDP? Where's the voice in Labour Party? We don't have an opposition party. We just have people who wants to contest for election in the coming election. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the real teacher of how to be an opposition. For everything you do, there's a response. Not just a response, a physical response, where you see people come out to say, we criticize this. Atiku only talks on Twitter. The biggest move I've seen them done this era is going to see former President Buhari.
But to be fair to Atiku though, he held the press conference recently where he criticized alongside some.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not hold press conference. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will lead men to march. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will make you feel that people are talking. You will see people talk. You will see people walk. If you don't take time, people will gather. That is an opposition.
All right. Let me turn to Benga now. Benga, do you think that the president is doing enough to address the security challenge in the country?
What more can I say? Let me first commend Eric for being spot on everything he has said thus far. I want to believe that this will be the first time that I won't fight with my co-commentator on the show, because he shows fairness in his analysis by making us understand that you can't say the president is not doing enough. You can't say he is doing enough. The only area we can fault the president is looking at it logically. Does it make sense that your country is on fire and in another country, saying you are strategizing and there is no place for you to strategize in your country? And if you know, I'm an APC president and I'm shamelessly so, but it's a critical question that I will ask the president. I won't say because we are in the same party and then be pretending to hide behind their finger while nonsense is going on. You know why? Because the president has retinue of army, police who can guide and protect him when criminals, bandits come. I don't have one. I cannot even go to police and legally get a gun to protect myself, because the law of the land makes me a sitting dog, makes my family a sitting dog. And you see, bandit is happening in Plateau today, happening in Benue tomorrow, and you think you are safe. I mean, it was in the news yesterday that some people were arrested in Lagos with arms and ammunition, bandits who are setting up camp in Lagos. And you know that I've always told you that a day is coming when people will be kidnapped right from their rooms, from their house in Lagos. And it is not a curse. I'm a Lagosian, I'm a Yoruba person. But you see, when you are truthful to yourself, people who want to hide behind a finger, maybe because they are seeking one political position or favor or the other, will think that you are lying, or they will think that you are being too critical or you are being too harsh. But the reality is that when the chicken comes home to roost, it is going to affect all of us. So for me, I believe that what the president needs to do, if he wants to show us that he is serious about the situation in Nigeria, is first to quickly come back home, because what that does is that it makes those who are being lackadaisical in their duties to sit tight, you know, to know that, okay, the eagle eye is not watching remotely now, is right on our neck, you know, breathing down on our neck. And we can't, that's not too much to ask from someone who begged us, who went to all the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory to beg us to vote for him. So it is not too much to ask. And for me, I also, you know, one part in Eric's analysis is that do Nigerians, especially those who are benefiting from the insurgency, do they want the insurgency to stop? Because for some people, the insurgency is a difficult tool for them to destabilize any government that they don't want, so that they can be able to take over power. And they don't care whether it is their own people or it is foreigner that is dying. And that is why, for me, I always call for a law that will allow Nigerians to protect themselves. Military officers, you know, at the highest level are benefiting from continuous insurgency, because if they tell us that they shot 300,000 rounds of bullets, who is going to count that, oh no, it's not 300,000 rounds of bullet that you shot, you only shot 1,000 rounds. That is just the smallest part, because don't forget that all the military gear that they are using, if they say they have bought 30,000 boots in the last 6 months, who is going to count? If they tell you that they have bought, you know, 5 million bulletproof vests in the last 1 year because they need to protect their soldiers, who is going? So it's a lot of money-making industry for these people, and they don't want the insurgency to stop. And the area, the government stop pretending that these are communal clashes, because that is the language from the government office. They will tell you it is communal clashes, and so what? Even if communal clash, does it mean that we can't sort it? Let everybody be able to get a gun and protect themselves. If you know you are coming to my house and you know I can protect myself equally, you will think twice before coming to my house.
Benga, very quickly. All right, Benga. So let's get to the flip side of this conversation. There's the famous saying that the buck stops on the table of the president. This is a major security challenge in the country. Again, is the president doing enough to tackle this challenge? Now let's go back to 2014, when the president was the leader of the opposition in the country. He had tweeted precisely 11:39 in the morning of 24th September 2014. And he said, quote, "The entire nation has lost its trust in the ruling party, PDP. It's a challenging time and we have to be very careful." January 2014, precisely the 29th of January 2014, 9:41 in the morning, he said, quote, "The slaughtering of Christian worshippers is strongly condemnable. It calls to question the competence of Jonathan to protect Nigerians." One last one, just for the purpose of this conversation. 14th April 2014, you can do the math. The president, 2:36 midday of that same day, he said, quote, "Nigeria's security situation is precarious. Nigerians are tired of excuses and explanations. They want protection for their lives and property." Again, Benga, looking back with the benefit of hindsight, right? Again, Benga, looking back with the benefit of hindsight, do you think the president is doing enough, considering what he has said about a former president?
Anybody can say anything when they are not in office yet. And that is why I am also very careful when I'm criticizing, and I rather focus more on providing solution suggestions rather than criticizing.
The president did the same. He's not using those solutions now, Benga.
Yes, I am saying that the president, just like any human being, will give ideas, will talk. It is easy to talk. You can use your mouth to fly jets, fighter jets, even though you have not gone to pilot training school before. All human being does it at one time or the other, in one way or another in their life. There was a story about Starbucks that I came across recently, how they employed a consultant, you know, to run their company, and the consultant bled them of more than $70 billion within 17 months or thereabout that he was in charge of their company. And then when they now brought somebody who is well known to help company get back up on their feet, the investors' confidence alone on the first day that that man took over job made the share capital of that company to go up by almost 20 billion. Why am I using this analysis side by side? Is that, yes, when he was in the opposition, there are things that he thinks he knows, but he could not see the clear picture. Now that he is the president, there are things that are clearer to him, that when he wants to take a step, he has to think of 2-3 consequences of those steps, and that will make him slower in taking a step. Now, for me, who is outside here, who has not seen what he has seen, that is holding him back from taking certain steps, I will, of course, do like he did when he was in the opposition and criticize him too, because I did not see the full picture like he's seeing now. So, having said that, just like you have said, the buck still stops at his table. And that is why I would encourage the president to first and foremost look at low-hanging trees that they can explore to bring this insurgency to stop. And what are some of the low-hanging trees? The lowest of the hanging fruits that we can adopt is self-policing. And people cannot self-police themselves if they do not have access to guns. If criminals, bandits, whatever names you call them, have access to gun, I too should be able to have access to gun to protect myself, to protect my household. If I have access to gun and my neighbors too have access to gun, for you to attack our town, you need to come with
I suppose, you know, he was trying to say that you need to come with superior weapons to succeed in your attack. But yeah, well, we need to leave things there today on Crosstalk. It's been a conversation about the security challenge, the current security challenge in the country. That, yeah, further questions, further perspectives, we'll talk about in the comment section. You can stop by the comment section. Let me know what you think. Do you think the president's presence in Paris, France, rather than being in Nigeria, you know, they're sort of sparking for that conversation, for that controversies regarding this? And what do you think the president should be doing now regarding this situation? Oh well, very quickly, we'll just get your last thoughts, Benga, as we close the conversation now. Benga Yanuga Paul has been one of my guests on the program this morning. Benga Yanuga Paul has been one of my guests on Crosstalk today. Benga, let's close now with your thought on whether or not the president should be here in Nigeria on ground, probably visit Plateau State, visit Benue State. And that was, you know, a famous recommendation back in 2014 when a lot of Nigerians said, former President Goodluck Jonathan, you know, didn't care about the lives lost and the families of those left behind as a result of these terrorism attacks. Then, should the president be showing further care, fatherly love by visiting these locations? Finally,
I am grateful that internet does not forget, and I am thankful to those who went to dig up those old comments by the president. And if the president has any iota of morality, of astuteness, I think even digging up those comments should bring him back to the country. And whatever they are going to France to go and do every Eke Market Day, they should find a way to do it in Nigeria, even if it is medical tourism, like people are, you know, suggesting that, oh, that's what they are doing, cover-up is. You can still do your cover-up within the Nigerian territory. Let I doing better or not does not just affect him, it affects me as a Yoruba man. A lot of people have high hopes in this country that, oh, maybe when the Yorubas get there, maybe they are a bit more intelligent, they will do better. But how do I hold my face up now? because, well, I mean, a lot of time we criticize Buhari and say, oh, because they are from the backwaters, they don't know better, let our man get there. Our man has gotten there now. So I hope that the president will return quickly to the country, will address some of the issues, and then also find a way to force his people, both in the legislative arm of government and the judiciary and the other arm of government, to look into making it possible for Nigerians to get a gun to protect themselves by themselves. All the laws and decrees that have been done by maybe the former president, for example, Buhari, they should repeal those laws so that Nigerians will not be sitting ducks used for target practice by criminals, but they will be able to also protect themselves back.
Benga Nyonuga Paul is a political commentator. Benga, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today on Crosstalk. And yes, a bit of a network challenge there with Eric Nlemibe at Uzoma. Well, many thanks for joining me as well. And to you, please stop by again the comment section. Let's get talking some more there. I'll be reading and watching. Until next time. Benga, one more time, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, appreciate that. Well, that's that with Crosstalk today. Until next time, we continue to say God bless our troops and God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Kingsley Bass is my name. Bye for now.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.